going on? Happy Thursday, and welcome on into the Ryan Ripken Show. We're back, and we are live at 5 here on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And if we had started this show about 10 seconds ago, you would have seen me almost just completely eat it as I try to sit down into this chair. But it's not about me making a fool of myself. This is about us starting the show off. And I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I was just grabbing nerds. But we got baseball to talk about today. Okay? Baseball to talk about. We got some football to talk about. Thursday Night Football, Week 12 is going to kick off later on today. That'll be later on in the show. But we are looking at what's happening right now on the stove. This is the time of year where baseball seems to get very speculative. And people are wondering what's the next move, especially after the Orioles made the biggest move of the offseason so far. Well, there's a couple other insiders that think that the Orioles aren't going to be done making moves. We'll get to that, especially in this first segment. Let's see. There's a pitcher that is linked to being traded left and right. He just won his second Cy Young Award in consecutive years. But actually, you'll hear from him of why he doesn't get why everyone's putting him in the recent trade requests and rumors and proposals. That's Tarik Skubal, by the way, if you don't put two and two together. And we'll riff, we'll raff, we'll answer some questions from our channel members. And you'll see what Bolly's bets is at the end of the show. And you guys can take a guess. Zach Bollinger is here. He's behind the sticks today.
How's it going? You know what? It's a better day in Maryland and Baltimore than it is in, I guess it's Barrow, Alaska right now, because it just saw on Twitter. Last night, I guess 8:55 our time, the sun officially set in Barrow, Alaska, and it will not rise again until January 22nd.
I'm sorry. What the hell did you just say?
Yeah, or Barrow, Alaska. Did I say Texas?
No. The part about the sun not rising.
Yeah.
Wait.
Until January 22nd. Sun will not rise again in Barrow, Alaska until January 22nd, 2026.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. That's not for me, Zach. I need to see the sun each day. I don't know if I'd get up. Like, curiosity for you.
No, this would be horrific for me. I would be that person where I just don't know how you have a schedule, because I feel like you wake up and you know how, like, obviously you see the sunrise, you're like, okay, it's morning, you know, sun goes down, you're like, okay, we're winding down. You just live.
So wait, where is this? What's this state or the
Barrow, Alaska?
Barrow,
Barrow, Alaska.
Barrow, not like
Barrow.
barrel. I thought we were talking about barreling up a baseball right there.
Barrow.
Hey, how you doing? Barrow. So it's Barrow with an
Barrow.
A. Barrow.
Yeah.
Barrow, Alaska. There's rentals going on.
I'm sure they're trying to get anyone to come there this time. Actually, would you want people to come during this time of year? Like, try to play it off? Imagine going there not knowing, and then you just find out.
It's also got a different name. It was formerly Barrow. I don't know how to pronounce the new name, so I'm not going to even try. It begins with a U, if you see it there.
Yeah, it looks like
Christian
gave us the yeah.
It looks like if you know when, like, you accidentally your ass is, like, you know, dials for you, or you have like you accidentally your finger gets stuck on a couple boards of the key. That's how I feel like that's pronounced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, but
what part of Alaska is this in?
You know, maybe we'll circle back to the end of the show about what you can do in Barrow. We're just going to say it's formerly known, but what you can do up there, because I am curious, and maybe that'll be our fun thing for the day. We'll do some Throwback Thursday later on. We appreciate all of you, and we especially appreciate our channel members. Thank you all. And if you're looking to become a channel member to be a Rips Good kid, hey, that helps the channel. If you're looking to be a Rips Better kid and have a little bit more exclusive action and behind the scenes and a little bit of Rip After Dark, some people like when the lights do go down for that portion of the work, well, click that join button. All of it comes back to giving you guys more content as we continue to scale up here on the channel. Appreciate you guys. And when I move, you move, Zach.
Just like that.
Just like that. Let's move on in to our first segment of the day here. Okay. So Ken Rosenthal says the Orioles are going to go and get players. How about that? That's paraphrasing. We're going to hear the whole part of this. But the Orioles, for a lot of people, have become actually, in my mind, the talking point of the offseason right now. It's not just because we're in Baltimore. It's what do you do next? Because you just traded Grayson Rodriguez, 26-year-old pitcher that hadn't pitched in the big leagues in about a year and a half, extremely talented yet injury-plagued pitcher. Mm-hmm. You send him off with 4 years of control and you get Taylor Ward, a guy that's been dependable the last 2 years, and by dependable, 156 games or more. And he had his best season as a big leaguer, over 100 RBIs, 36 home runs. And so you sit here and you go, okay, that's nice, but what are you going to do next? And is that it for the bats? Because when you look at the outfield, it's a little bit crowded, to say the least. And this is where Ken Rosenthal's thoughts come in. He was on foul territory earlier. And he said, well, the Orioles are going to be aggressive, but they're actually going to be aggressive with one of the crown jewels of the free agency market. So let's play that clip for you guys.
Orioles are one of the most fascinating teams right now. As I quoted an AL executive in this column today, they're a team that is going for it. And Mike Elias has been very aggressive as their president of baseball operations. He wants to do some things. Perhaps he is concerned for his job security. Perhaps he's just frustrated that after back-to-back appearances in the playoffs, last year they finished in last place, or this season. So they're going to be a team to watch. And as I reported in this story as well, even after getting Taylor Ward, and even though they have Tyler O'Neill and Colton Cowser, and they've signed Leody Taveras, they're still looking for outfield help. Perhaps it will be in center field. And they're still in the mix, at least, for Kyle Tucker. Now, if you get Kyle Tucker, you make some trades and you figure it out, and you don't worry about any potential surplus. You just do it. But he was a guy that was drafted by Mike Elias. Executives often have attachments to players that they draft. I don't expect the Orioles are going to get Tucker. They need pitching. We all know that. They need a big-time starter to go with Bradish and Trevor Rogers, and they also need a closer and additional bullpen help even after trading for Kittredge. So I don't expect them to be there, but the fact that they're not ruling it out is interesting to me.
Ken, when you talk about Kyle Tucker, he's likely going to come with a very hefty price tag. You said that the Orioles need starting pitching. Would Mike Elias, that front office, and that ownership group give Kyle Tucker the type of money that he's demanding? Are they prone to do those types of things?
They are not prone, Alana, and that's a great point. However, their owner, David Rubenstein, has said the money is available. Now, I didn't say it was available for Tucker, per se. He just said they have money to spend. It would be out of character for Elias. It would be out of character for the Orioles. But we have seen with San Diego, a team from a smaller market, make statements like this. Now, it's worked for San Diego to a very real degree. They haven't won a World Series, I know, but they've electrified the market. They've been in the playoffs. They've been really good. Are the Orioles thinking the same way? I would be surprised because their revenues are down like San Diego's are, and their late owner, Peter Seidler, basically said, I'm doing this even though our revenues don't support it. I don't expect the Orioles to be at that level, but I do expect them to spend this offseason. And
okay, so he's saying the Orioles are, from what he's hearing, they're still going to be in on Kyle Tucker. If I'm going to be completely frank, Zach, if I can be frank, I don't see how it fits in at all. At all. And let me take it back. If the Orioles sign Kyle Tucker, of course, would I be happy to see him as a Baltimore Oriole, especially when you look at what he's capable of doing? Absolutely. I mean, Kyle Tucker, dude, when he's fully healthy, I don't want to look at his numbers from last year, and we did the blind resume yesterday, but it was a better example just to show what Taylor Ward has done. But the Kyle Tucker part for me, I'm trying to understand if you do that, great. there's still a lot of question marks what you do with the other parts of the money. And quite frankly, if Kyle Tucker's going to cost you $400 million this year, Zach, hypothetically, if you were to ask me where would I want that money going, I would personally rather have it spread over 4 players that can help you on the pitching side of it. 2 starters, 2 relievers. Personally, like that's how I look at that. And then the other part of this equation is, what are you going to do with a guy like Dylan Beavers? Because to me right now, if you bring in another player, which, again, Kyle Tucker is a superior player, all-star pedigree, you're making a statement by making that move. If you're comparing of who I think is better right now, that's not what I'm saying. The question is, do you believe in Dylan Beavers? Because if you believe in Dylan Beavers has to be your guy next year. And if you make the move for Kyle Tucker, well, then guess what? Dylan Beavers and Colton Cowser become a little bit more expendable. And that becomes that whole reality of the situation. So I'm just having a hard time trying to place that one, Zach. I'm sitting there, I'm listening, and it's easy to say, hey, an executive saying that Kyle Tucker is going to be in. Any team would want Kyle Tucker. Mm-hmm. And good. I hope the Orioles do their homework with them. But it doesn't seem like a logical landing spot, just from that standpoint. And you know what? If he signs with Baltimore, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I will say it's interesting that this news, I expected this news to kind of keep on going throughout the offseason of the Orioles are connected to Kyle Tucker, because everyone's going to connect Mike Elias, his time drafting him in Houston. Oh, the Orioles need outfield. This could be their big splash. But I won't lie. I'm intrigued by why this is still being a connection after Ward. And it feels like maybe, do the Orioles go in maybe a different direction, and the fact of, okay, do they think we've seen with Iglesias, they were in, they are in on these back end pitchers. Maybe they think, okay, let's get, could you sign a Tucker and then trade a Cowser, a Beavers, whatever, to go get your frontline guy for the starting rotation? I would be floored. But I will say it intrigues me that these rumors are still going around even after they made that move for Ward, and that they are saying, hey, they're still looking for an outfielder, because it makes you think like, okay, like you said, it's a little log jammed. It's crowded in that room, especially let's also bring up if you bring Heston Kjerstad, if he's healthy. Yeah, we haven't seen him reach that potential, but man, talk about a guy who's battled injuries, and you still haven't really seen him put it all together in a healthy season. We've seen the glimpses of what he can be. It would shock me. I would love it. I feel like this is a move that kind of puts you over the top in the fact of, hey, we'll spend. Hey, if you go out and you pay Kyle Tucker, you can't make the jokes of, oh, the Orioles aren't going for it. They're going for this. They are trying to build a competent team to compete, not just for a playoff spot, because you don't get Kyle Tucker if you're just hoping for a playoff spot. You go get Kyle Tucker if you're saying, if you're Mike Elias and you're going, this team can go compete for an AL pennant. This is a team that we want to go to the World Series. Would be shocked, but I understand why the connections are there. My biggest takeaway is, hey, if they're willing to spend money, I would put it more towards maybe bullpen and frontline pitching at this point. But I think the big thing is if they are in on Tucker and they offer $300 million, then that shows, okay, this team is serious about winning. They want to go put the best product out on the field.
I mean, and look, you're talking about creating a good balance of veteran players and veteran stars, by the way, because right now, if we're looking at the Orioles roster, stars right now, Gunnar Henderson. And right now, that's where the list stops. And not saying that I don't believe that Jordan Westburg is an all-star caliber player. He is. He needs to be on the field. If he is, that Westburg and Gunnar are the two guys that I have zero worry about what they're offensively going to do, Zach. I think that that's pretty evident. Jordan, despite being injury-plagued, he did nothing but reaffirm how valuable he is when he's on the field. Yeah, without any question. But those guys to me would be proven. Everyone else is still to be determined. I mean, look, I love Jackson Holliday's makeup. I trust the Holiday family and the genes and the bloodline. I trust Jackson's ability to get better, but it's still not proven yet. Adley Rutschman, I believe in Adley, but it can't be proven and trusted that Adley's going to be the guy. So if they make this move, Zach, that's where I only come back to this is, do you make the move because you just still have doubts that these guys can be that? And Kyle Tucker is a bona fide star. There's no doubt what you're going to get from him. And I think that's why they made the Taylor Ward move, not saying Taylor Ward is a star, but Taylor Ward is dependable. So if you add up more dependable pieces in your lineup, that stacks, then you allow the pressure to be taken off of guys like Cowser and Beavers, Basayo, et cetera, et cetera. So I am curious, but the Dylan Beavers part, I will say, of all the young guys, what I saw from him from the end of the year, that style of hitter is needed in Baltimore, and I do believe he understands what he needs to do to be successful. He's a good runner too. I would like to see Dylan get run. And if you're looking down at the free agent market, you spend $400 million on Tucker, you're probably out on some of the other big pieces. And I think if we're going to prioritize the list here, Zach.
Yeah. Prioritize it.
Prioritize. Priority number one is going to be pitching. You need pitching. It's not like, we saw what happened when you don't have enough pitching. Last year, the Orioles thought they had enough pitching. Then they got injured, and they realized they did not have enough of the depth they needed to have success. They thought Charlie Morton was going to be able to come in, and then they weren't expecting that Grayson and Zach Eflin were going to be down. They didn't have the depth. They didn't have the dependable guy last year. That hurt.
Yeah.
Kyle Bradish, Trevor Rogers, expect a lot from them this year. You need one more, minimum one more, and then maybe you can get some lower depth pieces. And then number two is you must get one high leverage guy, but I think you need two high leverage relievers. One you're going to spend the money on. The other one could be a highly sought out, but it could be like on a Kittredge level. Get one more of those guys, and you feel better. But if that runs it up to being, you spend $200 million this offseason, $250, I have a hard time seeing them price in Kyle Tucker, Zach. That's how I look at it, and that's where the priority of bats versus pitching, because we know the result for the Orioles in the AL East. If you don't pitch in the AL East, you better be damn good at everything else, and I mean damn good at everything else. The Blue Jays were middle of the pack at pitching, but they were damn good at putting the ball in play and situational execution. So how do you stay in games if you don't know what your identity is? You got to pitch. Mm-hmm. So that's where I have with that. And I know we talked with Big Ben yesterday about some possible options, Zach.
Yeah.
A couple options out there.
Yeah, especially in the, obviously we talk, you just said it with the I don't know if Kyle Tucker fits the biggest need. Honestly, the only thing that I see that being a quote-unquote need for is I saw stuff about how the outfield free agency and trade block is just so dried up right now that if the Orioles sign Tucker, they would kind of control the market of, hey, if you guys need an outfielder, you got to come to us, and then they can make a deal that way. But I agree with you. It's something I think is really important that people maybe forget is, hey, Felix ain't coming back next year, it looks like. I would say maybe not in the next few years. We'll see with that shoulder. So we talked to Big Ben, Ben McDonald, about maybe how big of a need is the back end of the bullpen, that getting that guy that can get you 3 outs when it matters. And he gave a pretty interesting answer and actually gave a guy that he has his eyes on. So let's listen to that and we'll react on the other side. Spot for the Orioles that really seems open right now is that back end relief pitcher, that big name guy that you can bring in and you can trust to shut down the game. Obviously, Felix Bautista, hope for the best, but don't know when / if he comes back in 26. What are your thoughts on kind of how pressing of a need is it for the Orioles to go out there, and whether it's through trade or free agency, get a guy that you know you can hand the ball to in the ninth, and he's going to get you 3 outs to win?
Well, you got to have a dude at the back end. I mean, we all know that. And that's why the Orioles were so good in the years they had Felix Bautista, because when Felix came in the game was basically over. And that's what you feel like when you see a lot of these back end guys come in. I mean, I got to do the Padres and the Cubs, in the playoffs this year. And I saw, look, when the Padres came in, dude, when they got a lead in the 5th inning and they started bringing in those relievers that they had, it was over in some ways. Now, I know the Cubs went on and knocked them off, but still, I was impressed with what they have. And speaking of the Padres, I love Suarez. I think he's a dude. He's out there. It makes perfect sense because the Orioles already have his brother over here. I think it'd be a great reunion. I think it would be a comfort factor for both of those guys. Obviously, you got to pay him. You're going to have to pay him because the dude's going to command a lot of money. He's going to command probably a 4 or 5 year contract, I'm guessing. Maybe 3 years if you're lucky, if you overpay a little bit. But he's that kind of guy. And I saw him pitch, and I walked away going, that's one of the guys, or that's a dude that the Orioles need right there. Like, it makes perfect sense to me.
Me and Big Ben, besides, we're like the same. We're like
different but the same.
We were so different on so many reasons. He's from LSU. He falls.
I was gonna say, is that the big difference?
That's the only difference. He goes gator hunting. He goes regular hunting. He has the largest hands I have ever seen.
We should do an off-season thing one year where we just 2 days surviving with Ben McDonald out hunting. That'd be insane.
Yeah, talk about that for a little Ryan Ripken show on the go.
Ooh.
With Big Ben. But the one thing we are exactly the same on is who we believe the Orioles need to go get, and that is Robert Suarez. I said that the last couple of weeks. Albert, his brother, is here, Albert Suarez. Robert, he's going to cost some money. But when you're looking at guys of this class, it makes the most sense. For all the reasons. And it probably will be with Edwin Diaz, Zach, fair to say, those two guys might be the most expensive of the relievers.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right? I would much rather go with Suarez in this case because I think that it's a fit. I just think that it makes so much sense. And you knock down a guy or bring in a guy that knocks off a demand that you need for your team. And you mentioned it before, Zach. In no frame of mind can you expect that Felix Bautista is going to help your ball club in 2026. And I would even go as far as to say you can't even plan for him for 2027. Don't even look at the future. Look at now. The now is you need a closer. And if Robert Suarez is damn good, well, guess what? You sign him to a multi-year deal. He might be the closer of the future for the Baltimore Orioles. This is how it is. The reliever market is so fragile because you can be so good at one moment and irrelevant the next. Use Craig Kimbrell as an example. Craig had such good moments, and heck, for the first half of the year in Baltimore, had all-star type numbers, and then the fall off was pretty astonishing. And the ones that are saying, I saw it coming from a mile away. Okay, you want to say you saw some fall off? For the first 4 months of the season, Craig Kimbrell was rock solid for the most part. Was. And then if you get your psyche or something's off, that can go down a tough period. So go with the guy that seems like they're comfortable in that position. That's Robert Suarez. I think Devin Williams, the reason why I bring up that example of being psychologically domed up, that was Devin Williams in my mind last year in New York, Zach. Devin Williams, there's no reason why he can't be a closer again, but what stopped him? He got in a funk. He wasn't as successful. And teams are now going to have to think about that. So when I look at the options, Robert Suarez, to me, look at his numbers from last year, look at how hard he throws the baseball, and look how comfortable he is in big situations. He just checks all the boxes. That would be the one. Yeah, Big Ben and I are right on that one. On the other side of it too, the Orioles then could, if they get the one big guy, then they can focus on a couple other middle relievers, Zach, or I'd say the guys with upside, but they need to lock down a surefire guy. They really do. And I would even argue it, to this extent, that might be just as important of getting one more bona fide starter.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the bullpen, I think you can really piece together. Back end, you can't mess around with that anymore. You can't. So we'll see what happens. But Big Ben, he had a lot of opinions on it. I mean, I feel like we're all aligned with that, Zach. I don't think there's anything crazy that I'm saying that you wouldn't be saying.
No, I agree. I think we've kind of identified Suarez for a little bit as well. Even in the season, it was kind of known he was going to decline that. I think it was like $11-13 million player option because he's going to get close to. They're projecting him at just above 16 and a half, right under 17 million per year. So you're gonna have to pay. Maybe a guy. I love Robert Suarez. Would be interested to see maybe a Pete Fairbanks. There's more middle tier guys there, but 2023, the biggest thing for the Orioles, kind of like we were saying, was Orioles got up. They had a lead in the ninth. It's game over. You didn't question it. Felix, the lights went out. You heard Omar's whistle. It was done. That was game. That was the game. He was coming in, and you were 99% sure the game was over. Let's just even look at 2024. Obviously, you brought up Kimbrel, but after Kimbrel, when you tried to, I see people talk about, Tyler Wells. We have in-house guys that can be the closer. We've talked about this before. Especially when you're competing and you want to be a team that doesn't just have playoff aspirations, but wants to compete for a pennant, for a World Series. You can't be finding – it's okay to find guys throughout the season that can be clutch, big moment relief pitchers that you can trust, but you can't rely on that. You can't just go into the season and be like, someone's going to pan out. So someone's going to take over, because you don't know that. And maybe someone does for 2 weeks and then something happens and they lose that confidence or, an injury, whatever. You can't go in with no plan A and just plan B being someone will work out. Someone's going to step up, because we've seen them try to do that before. When you don't have a closer, we talked to Jonathan Papelbon. He was like, you can't win the World Series without a closer. It's not, it is insanely hard unless you plan on blowing the other team out by 8 runs every game. You need a back end guy that in a 1-run game can go out there and win it for you.
Well, and like Tyler Wells should be like your secondary or secondary of the secondary. What's the third option? Fourth option. Option C. Whatever you want to consider. That Tyler can close games if you need him to, but you can't have that be the fail safe off the get-go. If it doesn't work out, we're just going to put Tyler there. The Dodgers this past year, right? They signed Tanner Scott. You had Blake Trinan. That was neither were working out enough. And then Roki Sasaki, you expected to be the starter, ended up being your closer. And then really the real closer was Yamamoto the entire time. But you get my point, right? Like, you still need to have guys that are supposed to be in that position. And if things don't work out, then you pivot. Not, we're going to give this guy a try. And you know what? We're going to open it up and see what works. No, you don't want to do that. You really don't want to do that. And this is the emphasis that I want to also point out when you look at organizations. The Dodgers win so much because the Dodgers system is so damn good. And what I mean by it's so damn good, Zach, they have their players ready to help out when they have injuries. And they have the superstar talent. I'm not even going to deny that. But they had so many injuries the last 2 years. They had 13 starters the year before?
Yeah.
Something like that. 13 starting pitchers get hurt. And no one talks about it because they're like, it was all their stars. No, the 13 starting pitchers, no, they had guys ready. They had depth that was ready. The worry in Baltimore is at the higher levels is that depth that you had ready to help you win. Last year, unfortunately, it got exposed. Mm-hmm. The answer was no, they were not ready. Cade still needs to work on things. Brandon Young needs to continue to work, and those became options that can be depth pieces but are no longer the ones that you want to fall back on. And then the Orioles didn't really have relievers to fall back on. Mm-hmm. So that's why I put the emphasis on the pitching side. Robert Suarez and any starter that you get them just because right now in the higher levels, you aren't sure of what you have.
Yeah.
Not that they're not going to be good, but you are committing to the same plan if you do that same formula. They banked that we will have enough if guys get hurt. Well, guys got hurt and it wasn't enough. So that's just what I think it is. And again, I don't think that Wells should be the end all. That's only a discussion if it doesn't work out. Because you know what I'd rather have Wells be a depth piece of? Starting pitching.
Yeah. Because
he actually has proven he can be a starting pitcher. He might be limited, but he can.
I was going to say, I think it's so funny, it gets lost in everything that 2023, like that first half, there was no question who the ace of the Orioles staff was. It was Tyler Wells. I mean, that guy was an absolute dog. He was, he did everything you need. And you can't go plan B, C, D on a closer. You can't. If you want to win, you can't do that. We've talked about this before. Filling out a bullpen, you can find some dogs, off waivers, bringing guys up from the minor leagues, and that can make up your 5th, 6th, 7th inning. Okay, these guys, we can get to, 3 to 6 outs with them. Hey, it might be a 1-run game in the 6th, but we trust these guys. It's not the highest leverage. Maybe it's against batters 6 through 8. We trust them. What you can't do is just expect somebody off waivers. So one of these young guys, Cam Foster, one of the guys you got in the trade, Nunez, these young guys that you kind of got back last year that you're like, hey, maybe they take that next step. You can't rely on one of them becoming a dominant closer. It would be super cool. If I don't think anyone in the Orioles organization would be upset if they go and spend a lot of money on Suarez and then one of these young guys or one of these guys off waivers ends up being another dominant high leverage pitcher. I don't think anyone would be upset with that. If you have multiple high leverage pitchers that can dominate and can get you outs, it's a good problem to have. The issue is when you hope and rely on someone taking that step, because odds are you might get someone to pitch well for a few weeks, but it takes a psycho. And I mean, you look at the all-time, leading closers, you got to have a few screws loose to be a dominant closer. And you can't just rely on somebody developing that. Go get your guy, go get a Suarez, go get a Diaz, someone like that. And then if someone else pops up, becomes dominant, there you got a really nice 8th and 9th inning guy.
You want to know how many pitchers, and I saw the payroll stuff. You know how many starting pitchers the Dodgers had in 2024 who started a game for them on the mound?
It's got to be like 15, 16.
15.
Yeah.
I'm curious on the Orioles side of this real quickly. So, because payroll, I can guarantee you of the 15, they aren't very highly paid for those guys that are there. Now, I'm going to look it up real quick for 2025, and we're going to play this game. Because I like to learn. If I'm wrong, hey, I'm cool with being wrong. Hey, I'm Ryan Ripken. I'm cool with being wrong. Zach. Game started.
You know math.
Mm-hmm. So this is actually fun. How many Orioles starting pitchers pitched more than 17 games this year?
How many pitchers pitched more than 17 games?
Games started.
17 games. I'm going to go Kramer.
Yep.
Tomo.
Yep.
Rogers.
Nope.
He was 16, wasn't he?
17.
Well, he was 17 exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was 18. He counts. I apologize. Yep, he's in there.
Question my ball knowledge.
Yeah. Who's the other one?
Did Morton get to 17?
Morton got to 17.
So was that him?
It's him, but he's at 17. I said more than 17.
Oh, okay.
So who's the other one?
Cut off. Okay. feel like I'm blanking on missing an obvious. I'm not going to look over at the chat right now.
Do.
All right.
So
Who is it? You're going to have to tell me now.
Cade Povich.
Wow.
So the Orioles, Cade Povich started 20 games, Kramer 29, Sagano 30. The Orioles ended up with this list of having 17 pitchers. But let me ask you if you know these names real quickly. Because we'll go to the Dodgers. Do you know Kyle Hurt?
No, I do not.
No. What about you heard of him in the postseason last year or this year? Elazier Hernandez.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Anthony Banda started 2 games. Michael Grove.
Banda was somewhere else before. I did know Banda. Grove. Some of these I'm cheating.
River Ryan.
That's just a fantastic name.
Justin Wrobleski.
Nope.
Landon Knack.
Did know that.
Okay.
Saw him in a lot of mock trades.
Okay, cool. So in this case right there, my point is they had then their injuries, plus then they had guys you didn't hear of.
Yeah.
So the excuse of the spending money, offensively, the Dodgers, that's where the money was the offense for them. But pitching-wise, they stayed afloat because their pitchers were ready. Their depth held up. The Orioles' depth did not hold up. The Orioles' depth, Brandon Young pitched 12 games. Zach Eflin pitched 14 games. Oh, gosh. Kyle Bradish, 6. Kyle Gibson, 4. Keegan Aiken started 3. Albert Suarez, 1. Scott Blewett, 1. Rico Garcia's 1. Chase McDermott, 1. Dietrich Enns, 1. Their depth just didn't hold up overall. So this is what I just wanted to focus on. Depth is so important in the big leagues. Your depth in pitching is going to be so important because you're going to get injured. So for the Orioles, the best case for them is to add more depth, specifically dependable pitcher, and they need a couple high-end relievers because you know what you have, and if they go down, then you can continue to dive deeper and deeper into the depth. But we know that the Orioles' depth at the moment was not enough to overcome their issues in 2025. And if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Do this live at 5.
Live at 5.
Every Monday through Friday right here on the channel. And by the way, too, like when we're talking about all these things, baseball is really damn hard. And it is a player sport at the end of the day. Like the players got to go out and execute. The managers, having a good manager does matter. Managing your bullpen matters. But you got to be able to go and walk the walk. And the Orioles last year, just like other teams, the teams that underperformed, probably go and look at that they regressed in certain cases. The Orioles pitching wasn't good. Hitting was very inconsistent. The Toronto Blue Jays, like I mentioned, middle of the pack last year in pitching ERA. I think they were even towards the bottom third, if I'm not mistaken. They weren't a great defensive team, but yet they were really damn good at one thing. You got to be really damn good at one thing if you're going to overcome some of the obstacles along the way. But I digress. Zach, we're in this period of time where people just talk about rumors and what's happening next and who's going where. This team likes this person's on the move. I just saw a thing later that in football that we'll talk about in the second half. Joe Mixon. Yeah. Apparently Joe Mixon's done for the year, and then Joe Mixon's like, hey, funny, Ian, that you know Joe Mixon better than Joe Mixon. Yeah. And where I'm going with this is there's been so many reports in baseball around Tarik Skubal that, hey, the Tigers are going to trade him. Oh, a trade proposal that the Yankees could send to the Tigers. Tarik, they're not going to re-sign him. Well, here's what it's going to take, and here's what the Tigers should do to make that trade. Well, Tarik Skubal went on foul territory, and I want to talk about this from the player side, but then I also want you to hear it straight from him about what he thinks about all of this trade rumor nonsense that just keeps flying around, it seems like, every other day here. So let's play that clip for you guys.
Way social media is, it's hard not to see things about yourself, especially when it's talking about trades and kind of all those hypotheticals. But At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to impact who I am day-to-day basis. It's not going to impact, the way I'm going to work out or the way I'm going to throw or prepare to get my body ready to go for another season. So it's all out of my control. You see it. I think as a player, you don't really unless you want to be traded, but that's a whole different situation. But it's not like I want to be traded. So it does kind of hey, why am I in this? Why am I in these conversations to begin with? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really impact anything that I'm going to do day to day. And I try to just stay off of it and not look at it. I mean, that's kind of how I've handled it at the trade deadlines in years past. And it seems to work for me.
So, yeah, I love the answer of it's not going to impact what I need to do, which no shit, it shouldn't impact what you got to go on the day to day. He's a pro and he's the best in the American League right now. He's the standard. He's going to continue to get better. That's his focus. But as far as everything else, he's wondering, I haven't said anything. And yet people want to assume what the next thing is going to be. So with all this news that's popping up and around, yes, some of it is driven intentionally. Some of it's driven by agents. Some of it's driven by the media to create more of a buzz. And yes, some of it is created by teams to push out narratives. It's all part of it. But from the players' side of this is why I guess, Zach, players get frustrated at times when it comes to the media space, is that when they feel that, yes, there could be some things that could be true, there's a lot of things that are not, and there's not a lot of merit to it. Last year we heard about teams that were going to be in on these players, and then the players afterwards saying, I never talked to X, Y, and Z team, my agent at one period of time. But I get it. Skubal is the top pitcher. The Yankees are still considered a top team in the big market. New York sells. But yeah, I thought I thought that was a good answer from Skubal, just reminding people, dude, I want to be a Tiger. I'm not asking to be traded.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is all of these stars, and obviously different situation with Paul Skeens. It's not like his contract's coming up. But for all we know, Paul Skeens could be I'm cool with being a Pirate. And everyone's he hates being a Pirate. He's still going to demand a trade soon. They've got to trade him. Tarik Skubal, everyone just assumes because the Tigers haven't spent $500 million or $400 million on a pitcher before, they're the Tigers ain't going to do that. He's gone. They got to trade him. Tarik's probably, he said, he's I don't want to be traded. I don't want to move. I don't, I think people forget the human aspect of it as well. This isn't, oh, you were traded down the street. You get to keep your home, everything. You're just going into a different office building. You're just walking. You're going 2 floors up of the same building. This is, he gets traded to New York or LA. Gets traded to LA. He's moving across the country. Gets traded to New York. He's going all the way to the East Coast. It is one of those situations where the human element of it, I love that he says it's not going to impact me, how I go about my day to day. He's yeah, you see it. It's not the greatest thing to see. Is your name always in? Where's he going? Where is he going to be, moving? But just, and that's something that I think also is a testament to how good he is, because there have been a lot of players over the years when rumors and stuff float, it does impact their play. Past 2 years, it's been oh, Skubal at the deadline. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, he's gone. And he's still been a dominant pitcher throughout. So that mental fortitude you have to have of blocking all of that out. And it's got to be so ridiculous as the guy like Skubal, because everywhere you turn on, everywhere, it's just hypothetical trade, mock trade. Okay, what if he goes here? Okay, we're skipping. Half the league is just skipped out on the 2026 season for Skubal. They're where's he signing in 2027? You can't go anywhere without where is Tarik Skubal going to be pitching in 2026 or beyond. And if you're Tarik, he's sitting there I hope in Detroit. I don't want to move. I like it here. And so for me, God, that's just got to be rough. That's got to be a tough ask for these players, to just constantly be in trade talk after trade talk after trade talk.
And this is the world that we are in, and look, storylines sell, right? If you hear that Skubal's available, I mean, think about last year, not this past year in 2024. Skubal and the Tigers they could be selling. Wait a minute. The Orioles could be trading Jackson Holiday. You remember how loud that storyline became?
Oh, yeah.
And to be honest, there might have not been a ton of truth to it. Maybe there was, but more than likely there probably wasn't. And for teams, right, you got to listen to offers. But for the player, it's a hard position to be in. And we've heard this from players coming on. Zach, I mean, go to the Ravens side. When Jermont Jones got traded here a couple weeks ago, him just saying, they're telling me, hey, you got nothing to worry about. The team's telling him that, hey, you got nothing to worry about. And then his agent calls him that night and says, something might be happening. And then whammy, he is traded. Business is business, but the everyday, they can't control that. And Skubal just saying, hey, I want to be in Detroit. Hey, I believe that. And I do not see him getting traded at all. I think that the Tigers are going to figure out a way because I just think Detroit is so close. And I'd argue right now the Tigers could be a favorite to win the American League next year, depending on how this offense or this offseason goes. Like they got pieces. They were close last year. They're one inning away from,
and that's after a massive collapse. Like they fought through that. Was all like it wasn't like it was sunshine and rainbows all the way up until the ALCS or the ALDS. That was people thought they were done after. We didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs. They went from the best team in baseball through 70 games. We don't know if they're making the playoffs suddenly. To then all of a sudden they're down 1-0 in a 3-game series against the Guardians. Everyone just assumes that's over. Okay, season's done. Fight back then. Then they go up against the Mariners, who everyone kind of at that point thought was maybe going to be the team to represent the American League. They just kind of had that feeling around them.
Yeah.
15 innings. You were one hit away. And then who knows what goes on past there. But this is not like this is a rebuilding team. This isn't a team that has a ton of free agents that you were like, dang, that was their shot. Like it's never had. They got young prospects still coming up. They have pieces around Skubal. They can build a contender. And if I'm being honest, who in the AL Central scares you right now? The Twins are selling everything off. They are in a whole different mess. The White Sox aren't. The White Sox are probably 2 years away from being 2 years away from being 2 years away at this point.
And then 2 years away.
Yeah, and then 2 more years away. The Guardians are going to do guard. They're going to do guard ball. Like they're going to do their thing. They're probably going to win anywhere from 81 to 85 games. But it's not like you're really looking at them and you're like, dang, that's who we're competing for. The American League with. This Tigers team, they've got the talent. They add another piece or two. Why would Skubal want to leave?
I wouldn't. If you love a place, it all comes down at the end of the day. If it's $100 million difference in a deal, I get it. Even 30 million or even hell, 2 million, whatever your value is, he's going to get a lot of money. But at the end of the day, he can choose what he wants to do. And he'll either value the Tigers are willing to pay a price in that range, and if not, then he'll go elsewhere. That's the part of having with Boris, right? Of he's going to try to maximize your value. And no one's going to have a higher value than Skubal when he gets that extension. So time will tell. But for now, he's a Detroit Tiger, and the stove continues to steam. And I just would love the fact if we could just have moves at normal business hours. And normal business hours
Absolutely
for me
not.
even would be 9 to 9. Even 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. I'm okay with that. I'm a night owl as it is.
Not around here, partner.
But, like, we're trying to get some work done. Like last night where, you're helping to make up the reel of Nick just getting absolutely blasted by the Cleveland Browns.
Incredible. Yeah, he did.
He did. He was right about that.
He was spot on. When he said manhandled, that was the perfect word.
Yeah, so when we're trying to get some work done, we don't want to talk about why did they just do this trade. I mean, we talk about it. But we're trying to just get those clips out for the rest of our audience, especially the ones that are on YouTube, X, and Facebook, and Instagram, by the way. Follow at Ryan Ripken Show on all those accounts. before we dive into anything else, Zach, I want to take a quick second. Shout out to Merrick Clubs behind us right there. Merrick Clubs, and you can go to merrickclubs.com. I can't believe that Thanksgiving is next week. Next week.
Well, is Thanksgiving being next week is crazy, but because Thanksgiving's so late, we're what? 10 days from December? Like that because Monday is December 1st.
Yeah,
the latest.
It's the last week of Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Just throws me off.
I don't love it. I actually had a discussion the other day about this, of Thanksgiving being the week before the last week of November. So there's a little bit more of a buffer period so you can enjoy Thanksgiving without feeling like you got to rush to get everything done for the next holiday. That's just me. That's where I stand. But Merrick Clubs, by the way, because Thanksgiving is around the corner here, and starting tomorrow on November 20th, 20th. Today's the 20th. On November 21st, running until November 30th, Merrick Clubs is offering for the rest of the year $20.25. Get it? Because it's 2025 for the rest of the year.
Good one.
And yeah, you like that one? And then next month on Cyber Monday, let's just say the deal could be even sweeter. But we appreciate our friends over at Merrick Clubs. And if you are looking for help on your wellness or fitness journey, check out merrickclubs.com. How do you spell $20.25, Zach?
MERRITT.
And when I move, you move.
Just like that.
Just like that. Where are we moving to next, by the way? Where do you want to move?
I think actually, should we talk a little football tonight?
We will talk a little foosball. There was one thing I actually had in the space that I just saw pop up that I wanted to talk about. And now I can't find it. No, I can't find it. Oh, that I did see that the Tropicana, the roof is back on.
Is it? Are they're playing there this year, right? That's the goal at least. I know Pete Fairbanks actually talked about that. He was, kind of funny about it. He was like, yeah, they asked him how it was playing in, the outside stadium in Tampa, or I guess, what was that, St. Petersburg? And he was like, yeah, there's a reason we don't play outside in Tampa after March. He's like, it was an experience that I had. Don't know if I would ever want to do that again. That had to be brutal. That was something people didn't talk about the Rays disappointing, that final stretch, that second half that was so disappointing. They were probably just worn out. It was probably so hot. That had to be horrible. That'd be awful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, the Trop, by the way, it ain't the gold standard of ballparks that you are looking to go to. It's not. Especially when balls get lost in the catwalk. It's not fun. Maybe it's fun for the viewers to watch. I know for players that are playing the outfield there, or they're just on the field to play if they're in the infield, it's like a worst nightmare if the ball's up there and you don't know what the heck's happening. Hit something? Are you worried? Are they going to make the right call? All that stuff. That's where I'm at. I meant to put up a poll, Zach. That's what I was trying to do too. Hold on. I'm standing up because I need to stretch out my legs. Consider this like the 7th inning stretch of the Ryan Ripken show. You like that? Oh, I don't think you like that, Zach. You didn't give me any.
No, I was just letting you cook, just letting you do your thing over there.
I gotta say, I'm getting a little tight. But the poll question I was going to put up is, where do you think Kyle Tucker will actually end up? Because I am curious on the sense of if people out there believe that Kyle Tucker is actually going to make that splash with the Orioles. I just don't believe it. I don't, Zach. Don't believe it.
It would be surprising. I think that's the biggest word. It would be surprising. I would love it. I would chug champagne on stream, but do not see that coming. I would, at this point, I'd be even more excited for like a Ranger Suarez or a top pitcher. I feel like that'd be really fun. That could be fun. That would be pretty toy.
Very toy like a tiger. Where is that from, Zach? Movies.
No.
Think about it. What?
Oh no.
Yes, you do.
Austin Powers.
There we go.
All
See,
right.
there we
I
go.
just had to use.
Because I know you could tell it was gold member. Gold member saying, "Oh, you're very toit. You have a toit body, toit like a tiger." Why are you laughing at me?
It's just you're nailing it.
I am nailed it. Well, you guys hopefully can give us a good idea. Nail this poll. Where will Kyle Tucker end up? I put 3 options. Orioles, a big market team, and it says time, big market team time. Just mean a big market team. That could be the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies.
What did you big market team time?
Big market team time.
Like, oh, it's big market team time.
Big market team time. Yep. Maybe that becomes when we get some news on some big market team time.
It's big market team time.
I kind of like that now. And now we're going to talk about it. You know what's time for? Big market team time.
Big market team time.
Big market team time. So the Orioles, big market team time. And another team, is it another team that would be on the lines of the Orioles that's just a shocker, surpriser that jumps up there? So far, the initial voting, pretty heavy that a big market team is going to swoop in and grab.
You consider
Kyle Tucker.
Toronto a big market team, right?
I consider them a big market team.
All right. Well, I also want to make sure the viewers, because I would put them, they are definitely big market team.
They are Canada.
Yeah, they literally are the entire country. Just Canada.
Oh, I didn't realize. So I saw. Do I need to try to put the poll on the other one too?
I don't know. Is that possible?
Put that thing back where it came from. So help me. Help me. And cut.
Monsters Inc.
Well, why don't we? If we're going to switch over to the football side here in a second, can we go around Maryland? Do you have a graphic? Do we have the graphic?
Well, we have the around Maryland graphic.
Do you have the Maryland graphic?
Yeah, it's just sitting right here.
It's sitting there. Where is it? Over under 3 seconds?
It's up.
Oh. Looking good. Well, let's go around Maryland here, brought to you by our friends over at Next Move Charm City and the Belanger team over at Loan Depot. Hey, how you doing? And if you guys are ready to make your next time out.
Where are the glasses?
I need to find the other ones. But if you are ready to make your next move, make the right move.
Yep.
With Next Move Charm City, and the Belanger team at Loan Depot is there to help you out. Appreciate them, appreciate you. So we went around, we talked a little bit about what's happening up in Baltimore with the Orioles. We will get into what's happening in Baltimore with the Ravens. The Commanders, I don't know what's going on down there in general. I'll be completely honest. I know what's going on, but it's not good.
I was going to say, it's scary times there. That is a reality hit fast in Washington, because what a fun season last year was. And there were the inklings of hey, this is literally the oldest team in football. You got a young quarterback, but it's still the oldest team in football. Added some veterans. And then you're like, okay, maybe they're going for it over the next 2 years. Obviously this year, not doing great. And a lot of guys, once again, older. No one's getting younger on that team. So yeah, not feeling like things are the vibes aren't the greatest in Washington, D.C. around the football team, I think.
No, and this is kind of the reality of sports, right? Felt like they had a good nucleus, was going to take that next step. We just kind of talked about a team on the baseball side where they had success in the previous years, and then you fall flat. What's going to be the next move? That's what's happening here right now with the Washington Commanders. So time will tell there. Up with the Terps, by the way, in Maryland. It looks like Loxley's coming back, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah, he's coming back.
So Loxley's coming back. The Terps are football team. They're not back this year. That's just the reality of it. The men's team, they had a huge signing, Zach, huh?
Yeah, Baba. I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly, so I'm so
Just
sorry.
call him Baba.
Yeah, Alodaton. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the pronunciation right now, and I believe that's Alodaton. I'm so sorry how badly I pronounced that. But Baba, he's coming to Maryland, staying in Maryland, the hometown kid. That's big. Buzz, it's Buzzball. I think, Buzz has been awesome so far. Have they been in close games? Yeah, last night at home, going to overtime versus Mount St. Mary's. Not ideal. But Buzz also said, and you got to give him credit, he said it preseason. He was like, we're going to lose a few games before December, before Thanksgiving, that we should not lose. He said, we're going to win some games after Valentine's Day that we should not win. And, that's the culture he has established. They're getting some big-time recruits in there. So I think things are really looking up for Maryland basketball. I think this is a team that over the tenure of Buzz, maybe in the even starting next year, the year after, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a team that sits with a, in that 2 to 4 seed range for March Madness each year. I think I really trust, the process that they're going through. And I think the culture that they're building from the ground up is going to come to fruition.
Hey, that's the hope. And there's a lot of hope though with Buzz. And Buzz's track record is having success. Ollie, what's Ollie doing? What's my pup doing? Ollie, come here.
Ollie just tried to get
Ollie,
past
come here.
the bar, and he might be stuck. He got as far as he could, and then he went for like I give up.
Ollie,
got on the floor.
Come.
Oh, he's through. He made it through. He had to. He couldn't squeeze through, and they just flopped down the floor and gave it like a crawl.
Yeah, he's a little dramatic pup right now, but finishing the thought with the Terps. Maryland basketball. Talk about a team with a lot of culture and pride, and that's been the team at Maryland as far as the one for the last decades. And we're going back to the 80s that people expected Maryland basketball to be the school, right, or be that team. And they've had their disappointments, and they thought that with Kevin Willard they were getting it back. Then he goes, and Buzz Williams, though, what's exciting is his track record is that they have won and made some noise in the tournament. They have done that so far. It looks like he's building that infrastructure, but as everything, time will tell what happens next. And by the way, Ollie wants to say hi real quickly. Ollie, come here. Come here. Come here. Ollie Studio Pup. If anyone's near the channel, this is my dog. And if you don't like my dog, I don't like you. Ollie, come here.
Where'd
come
he
here.
go? Oh, he's down there.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Studio Pup.
Yep. He was voted best studio pup for the last year and a half. Hey, buddy, hold on. Maybe he is a little bit heavier than he has been.
It's winter. He's allowed to.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, he's dead weighting you hard.
Hey, don't fight. He wants to just play with the ball. Hold on.
Oh, we don't have a
red 7 hot route.
I was gonna say we don't have the
hot route. Go.
Oh, he's going out for the
pass.
The
couch.
Sort of. Oh, now he's going out for the pass.
Oh, place. Oh,
Rip with an atrocious throw.
that was a bad throw.
Atrocious.
That really was. I'll apologize.
You're really lucky we don't have a camera up there because that was tough.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. That hit like 4 things before it got to. It didn't make it to the target, but it hit multiple things on its way.
Yeah, that was tough. All right. We went around Maryland. Where are we diving into football? What's on your mind, Zach? You're calling the shots.
Is tonight a trap game?
It's a trap.
Like it kind of feels like it might be. But then again, I'm also sitting here and everyone's been saying it's a trap game. And if too many people say it's a trap game, is it really a trap game? I think that's what
how many people saying it's a trap does it make it a trap?
Yeah. Or is it just expected at that point? And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even talking about the Texans winning. It's more the 5.5, but this feels like that Texans defense is so good. And that Bills offense has looked bad at times, especially if you stop the run early. So it's going to be, I think it comes down to, I know obviously Mills Mafia, Davis Mills getting another start for Houston. I think that offense kind of does. I don't want to say I'm not worried about them, but I don't think that's the side of the ball that decides this. It's going to come down to, can the Texans defense hold on and keep this Bills team under 24? If they can hold them to like 21 points, I think they have a chance. So it's going to come down to that. Also, just feed Nico.
Is that because of
we'll get to that in a little
what you need?
Potentially.
Does it feel like we are – I know we talked about what time of year it is, but does it actually feel like the NFL season – it's week 12.
It's crazy.
2026 is 5 weeks away, 5.5 weeks.
Very crazy.
Then baseball starts up in February. Like, it felt like this fall and season has flown by in ways. And, yeah, I mean, the NFL season, week 12, a lot on the line here. The Texans, Bills, Davis Mills. I could use some Dalton Schultz action here, I'll be honest. I think he could. And I could use the Texans defense making some plays. But that's an interesting game. And it still goes into this whole concept of, unlike any year, we still don't know which teams are the for real fully ahead of everyone else. If you watch the NFL the last X amount of games, there's still no team that's head and shoulders just the juggernaut. The Patriots are looking pretty damn good, but also is that the team you fear the most? No. I don't know. But also, it looked like the Patriots would be cruising for a little bit until they come to Baltimore. But then guess what? They play the Bengals this week, and maybe they catch a break not facing Joe Flacco now.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, back-to-back days as a full participant in practice. That I didn't think. I was thinking maybe he's back for Thanksgiving. I was thinking most likely versus the Bills. I don't think anyone thought the Patriots was on even a possibility. So this could be he puts together even a full practice tomorrow, and then they're like, yeah, he's going to be ready for Thanksgiving. You know, maybe they just have that. But Patriots are playing really well. I mean, none of the next 3 games would be ideal for Joe Burrow to return for, meaning like you don't have that ease in game. It's not like all of a sudden you're facing like a Jets or Raiders or a Saints where it's like, okay, can ease him into this game. All of these are must win for Cincinnati. And you bring back Joe Burrow, I think I don't know how much, like he's better than Flacco, but obviously their defense is the issue. So
I think it's the morale boost that you have your leader coming.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Anything. But yeah, I saw T. Higgins. The quote was from T. Higgins: "Joe's practicing like it was week 1. He looks outstanding. He's slinging it." So yeah, I mean, I think that the Bengals just believe they're going to have a better chance. And I'll tell you this. For the Ravens, I went on the Charm City Sideline podcast with Brad and Zach yesterday. It's interesting that they also have.
Wait, so Brad, Zach, and Ryan that was the 3 of you talking yesterday? That's interesting.
You know, it's kind of refreshing. It's like I was talking to these really nicer Brad and Zachs to me. You're actually kind of nice to me.
I try.
You're fine. Brad's it depends on the day. Yeah. Depends on the day. But overall, what we were talking about yesterday, when you look at the NFL, there's some games here upcoming, and each team has their narratives that they have to fit, or they have to win to keep these narratives away. I should keep this in mind. So we asked about the Ravens about chances of winning the division. The Ravens are favored to win the division, but if the Ravens beat the Jets, which they should, they're 6-5. And then guess who they play next? It looks like it's going to be Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Which, by the way, last year the Bengals were 2 plays away from sweeping the Baltimore Ravens instead of the Ravens sweeping them. Like, that's how close it actually was. If the Ravens split one of the next 2 games and they're 6-6, Zach, that next game after down the road, you know, playing the Steelers at home is going to be interesting. Playing the Patriots is going to be interesting. And the Packers at Lambeau and at Pittsburgh once again. And then sandwiched in between that at Home against Pittsburgh, you go to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at all of this, it's a crazy thought. And on the other side for the Bengals, like you said, they can't afford to lose any more games, period, to have a legit shot at any of this. They're 3-7. They have to win. Heck, you go around the rest of the league. The Colts play the Chiefs. The Chiefs have to win. And the Colts, you don't think the Chiefs have to win?
No. I think they have to win. I don't see and maybe this comes back as like just a horrendous take. I don't think the Colts have a freaking chance this weekend. I don't think it's going to be close. I mean, it might be close on the scoreboard, but I would be floored if they beat the Chiefs. I mean, think about this. Colts have played outdoors one time this year. Do you know when that was? Versus Pittsburgh. It's going to be cold. It's going to be outdoors in Arrowhead. Daniel Jones just popped up on the injury report, so he's not 100%.
What are you trying to say?
I think with this being a must-win for the Chiefs, with the Colts playing outdoors where they're not as confident and comfortable, this just feels like one of those games where going into it, it's supposed to be like, oh, this is a big hyped-up game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win by they're the Chiefs. They'll win by like 3. But I wouldn't be surprised if they controlled the game the whole way. That wouldn't surprise me. I think this is a very big week that I think the Chiefs walk out with the win. I would just be very shocked if the Colts go into Arrowhead and win.
Here's the other crazy part. We're talking about these narratives for week 12.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo loses this game to the Texans and the Patriots win. That's a 3-game gap.
Yeah.
Or it'd be the Buffalo Bills would be 7-4. The Patriots could get the 10-2. So 2.5 game lead. And they still have the tiebreaker. Houston wins this game and Indy loses.
Mm-hmm.
That gets separated by 2 games. And guess what? Houston and Indy, they still got a couple dates on the schedule to play each other. Like this is where this part gets a little bit fun. So the Colts play the Texans the following week, by the way. And then the Colts finish with the Texans at Houston. So it's a fun time of the year. It's a fun time of the year, especially if you are into that. And especially then, hey, fantasy, Zach, I know you're into that and you're into all those conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Like the crazy thing that I always like to follow, and I guess it's not the football. The only other football topic that I really had, Zach, was around that Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Is there any other one that you had?
No, I think Joe Mixon, and that's just such a weird situation right now. I think Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow were the two. Just 2 Joes sitting in the headlines.
Well, but so while we're bringing this up, it goes back to the Skubal conversation we had earlier. So sources, according to Eden Rappaport, were saying that Joe Mixon's not expected to play because of his foot injury. The rest of the year likely remains on the physically unable to perform list. But then Joe Mixon, if I'm reading this correctly, he went on X and said, now I get everyone's looking for splash news and clickbait, but I'm just curious. Ian, how do you know more about me than me? Peter Schaefer, get your mans, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Not a great look for Rappaport.
No, not great. Not great at all. But Houston's finding a way. Woody Marks looks good. You know, that not saying the Texans are a juggernaut running the football. They got their issues, but they got a damn good defense. They're finding ways to win. Obviously, Joe Mixon, when he's healthy, is a good player. And time will tell. You know who's been a hell of a player this year, Zach?
Who's that?
Drake May.
Drake May.
Drake, what was that for?
Have you not seen that?
No.
It's like, I guess, his new nickname. Brady even said it. They're just calling him Drake. Then in quotes, Drake May. Makes no sense. But
at all.
Apparently that's a thing.
Big market team time and Drake May. So did you see the Cam Newton, Drake May, I'm not gonna say beef, but
did you see Stephen A. Smith's response to the beef?
I heard a little bit about it. Can we talk about it? Because I'm a little confused and I'd like to understand a little bit more.
Yeah, so I guess Cam Newton had said some things about Drake May that Drake May didn't necessarily like. And he kind of said that he didn't, I guess, referred to Cam Newton was like, I'm not sure what show he's on, but I heard this, but I'm only worried about things happening in the building, the perspective of people in this building. Like, I'm focused on my thing. I don't know what show he's on. And then Stephen A. Smith comes out and he's like, yeah, Drake May is just a liar. He's like, and he was like, First Take is the #1 sports show in the world, like morning show in the world. Obviously, he knows who we are and like this show. And now all these NFL former players are like, do you think that at 10 a.m. every day when Drake May is in meetings for game planning, he's watching First Take? Like, he just knows all the characters and personalities on First Take. It is just the weirdest week 12. Like, we're kind of in that post NFL trade deadline. We're figuring out who's going to make the playoffs, all of that. And like, stories sometimes aren't always there. This is the biggest non-story story ever. Like, why is Drake May not knowing that Cam Newton is on First Take? Why is that taking headlines right now? Why is that something that are being addressed? We talk about ESPN and the fall off of ESPN and like, hey, we want statistics, we want highlights, we want recaps of what happened. And now does Drake May know the cast of First Take?
Doesn't Drake May come off as being like just like this young, humble, like nicest dude?
And so also the biggest thing is Drake May has been very open throughout his career that his hero growing up was Cam Newton.
Yeah, and he also, his comments, I was looking at that, he didn't say anything bad. Now, of course, it's like the Key and Peele sketch where you're reading text and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, you'd say it one way, and then the person who reads it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, what the hell is this guy's deal? That's when, like, I look at the comments that are online. I don't think Drake May at all was trying to be disrespectful in any single way. He's like, yeah, I don't know what he's on because I don't watch it. But that's what it was. And then to say, what was the exact quote again, Zach, from Stephen A. about the show? It's the
Drake,
top.
Yeah, it's Drake May he said, and I quote, actually, I'll just pull it up, but with Will Compton's commentary on it on the top, his quote tweet, mostly because, well, he used Drake May. So Stephen A. Smith said, Drake May is a liar. First Take is the #1 morning show. Don't tell me you an athlete and you don't know that. Don't tell me you an athlete and you don't know that Cam Newton is on this show. You lying. To which Will Compton then said, shot in the dark here, but I guess quarterback Drake May doesn't know because he doesn't watch First Take at 10 a.m. during peak game planning hours at work.
I think that's fair to say.
I would say that's a good guess.
Gosh. One thing I at least for us when it's on here, I don't like to get, when we get hot and we get passionate, it's more about a feeling that you have, but it's not like a direct, like, you're announcing yourself to this thing. Cause right there, I'll be honest, going back to like, when you think of how big you are in the grand scheme of the world and everyone's going to know, even for a guy like Stephen A. Smith, where a lot of people know who he is, there's still a lot of people that do not watch what he does.
Yeah.
Like, you can know someone and not know what they do.
Also, are we going to act like one Cam Newton isn't in like his first like 4 months of First Take? Like,
and he also does his own work.
Yeah, First Take has changed their cast personalities like a million times. Every day it's different, I swear. It's Stephen A. Smith and then yelling at like whoever else shows up to the studio that day. Like, that's what I see First Take as. For like that was just straight ego talking. Like, how do you not know who's on First Take? I doubt athletes, on First Take, 90% of the time they're debating whether LeBron or Jordan's the GOAT. So if you're not an NBA player, like, it's not like they're always talking about football. And then the football they do talk is usually, is Lamar a disappointment for not winning a Super Bowl? Is Patrick Mahomes or Brady the greatest of all time? Like, it's no actual discussion about what's going on. It's just these weird hypotheticals. It feels like 24/7. I have no problem with Drake May not knowing what show Cam Newton is on. Like, this is, like I said, this is the weirdest. Is this considered beef? Like, is this now considered beef that they have with Drake May for not knowing the whole cast of First Take?
Just also for this, even for our show right now, we have our listeners, and we love our listeners. New to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. We also have our channel members. Like, we know the people that watch our show on the day-to-day, and we see that and we appreciate that. You know, a lot of people when they see, Zach, what we're doing, a lot of people go, yeah, I love watching. And I ask, oh, where do you see the clips? Oh, I see them on Instagram. We don't stream on Instagram, but they look at the clips later on. And that's how it is. I mean, it's the biggest non-story I really could give 2 hoots. But calling Drake May a liar, though, like, you're lying,
crazy.
like,
that's crazy. That's
come
so
on,
crazy. That's
calling a man out because you're a 23-year-old kid who's like the nicest dude in the world, a liar.
Like, like if he would have been like, I don't buy it, like he was just trying to dismiss it, like whatever, that would have been like he probably was trying to dismiss it. But for him to be like, Drake May is a liar.
If you just said, like, you really don't know first, even if you just said that, which I don't agree with, but you're like, you really don't know First Take. When you go, this guy's a liar, I'm like, hey, that's a bold strategy. That's a bold strategy right there. Let's see how that pays off. But again, like, that type of media I know is a selling point. I get it. That's not my bag, baby. Do you know what that's from,
No.
Zach?
Nope.
This type of thing isn't my bag, baby.
Nope. I don't.
So I'll enlighten you. Have you ever seen Austin Powers, Zach?
Once again, like probably like 15 years ago.
Well, great. We're gonna. You know what? Next week's Miracle for the Book Movie Club. So you'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the next week, I'm gonna make you watch Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, and you are gonna go figure out why one Swedish-made pump is certainly Austin Powers' bag. It is his bag, baby, signed by Austin Powers. And we're going to talk about this scene right now, because who knows, Zach, maybe that is your thing. And the thing is that you don't know what I'm talking about is fantastic. You okay over there?
Yeah, I actually just saw some, I don't know if it's breaking news, but I guess it came out just an hour ago. Inter Miami is playing a game at M&T Bank Stadium next year.
Oh, the bank. Lionel Messi?
Yeah, Messi's going to come. I do not buy tickets now, dude, because that was a big thing, was people buying their tickets like a year in advance for all of Messi's games because they're so expensive. They're like, I got to make sure. And then like injuries or him just taking time off or something, don't get caught with like a $500 ticket and then he's not playing, because then you're just watching an MLS game that you paid more than you ever should for a ticket that doesn't include Lionel Messi. Now, if Messi's playing, we got to find a way to get field access. I will say that. That's one of those people, like, that is it's so funny because we obviously don't cover soccer at all.
We did when the
Well, yes,
we did a couple of years, or is it
last season.
Last season.
I will say something though, Messi, that is a bigger than life. Like, that's like, I would put that up there now. This is going to be a bold take, but that's like meeting, like, he's like the Michael Jackson of soccer. Like, that entire Argentina shutting down for, like, he is probably, he and Ronaldo obviously, but Ronaldo's not in the MLS. Man, that if Messi is coming here, we got to find a way to that game.
So I thought you were going to say we have to find a way to get him in the studio.
That would be like a million times even better. I wouldn't go to the game if that happened. I would just see if he can shoot some pop a shot. That's got to be a goal now. We got to get Messi in the studio. I don't know how we pull that off, but
we got to figure some things out here. Yeah, here at the show.
Messi, our people talk to your people. I'm sure you're watching.
Oh yeah, no doubt he's watching right now. I mean, the thing is, we want to expand to more and more, but we know a lot of people love baseball. We know a lot of people want us to talk about that and football. Those are the two. And then we have story time, which we're going to have some more stories with our guest on Monday, by the way. So that will be a lot of fun. We had Nick Moore back on with the Ravens this past week. We had Big Ben McDonald yesterday. We were supposed to have a couple other today, but we might have a couple tomorrow when we're at Liv's Tavern over in Fed Hill. We're going to be live at 5. And Zach, I have I'm allowed to give out some Orange Crushes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Show up. Maybe you get one.
It's on you, actually. That's why I can give them out. Put it right on the Bali tab right there. Hey, how you doing? So we can probably have a couple questions we can answer for our channel members. If you're a channel member and you have any questions or topics that you want to talk about as we get towards the end of the show, gladly answer them. Baseball, football, life, movie. Does Zach know what a Swedish pump from Austin Powers is? The answer is no.
No.
But he might get one in his stocking this year. But why don't we take a quick trip up to our friends at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races? Hey! West Virginia. Because it is Thursday night football and it is the beginning of week 12. And that means that Bali's Bets is trying to get hot.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, you were hot on Monday.
Yeah, that happened fast. We needed George Pickens over 64.5 yards, and they got 150. So, that was one thing. But we're looking for something similar tonight. We're going with another wide receiver. Nico Collins, 6+ receptions. Mills has been feeding this man. He's gotten 10+ targets in 4 straight games. I mean, I think he's gotten all the way up to 11 and 12 targets. They're going to need to throw the ball. They're going to need to do some damage against this Bills defense. If they're going to stay in this game, I think their defense keeps them in it. And then rely on your star players. Get them the ball every chance you get. We just need 6+ receptions. Just get us 6, and then we are golden. So, bet of the day, bet of the week. Nico Collins, 6+ receptions. Lock it in.
Lock it in. I'll tell you what, Davis Mills has been feeding the beast. Nico's been eating the last 2 weeks with CJ Stroud out. Same with Dalton Schultz, but Nico, he's a beast. I always love the strategy, pass the ball to the Italians, which means if you watch Kicking and Screaming, it just means give the ball to your best players. Nico Collins.
It's just fantastic.
It's a great strategy.
Yeah.
Pass the ball to the Italians. Give the ball to your best players. Get them involved and let them do their thing. I saw James Franklin at the press conference for Virginia Tech, and he made a comment about his players, and he said, you have success, especially it's the players that the reason that you have success. It's the great players. We can call up a play, but you know what? We run this play. It seems to look really good when we have a certain running back that can take it to the house. We had a running back named Saquon Barkley, and when we called this play, it seemed to really work when he had the ball in his hands, more so than almost anybody else.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley is a tremendous talent.
Pretty good.
James Franklin, don't take all the players away from Maryland. He's a great recruiter, by the way. That will be an interesting component and part there. But we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate our friends up at Hollywood Casino and Charlestown Races. And West Virginia. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to see a couple comments in the bottom if we have from our channel members, and we'll see if we got some questions. If not, then we can bop. Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you.
How did I miss that one earlier? And you know what? I actually saw the post earlier, and sorry, from at Smallville Horror. Really hoping the Orioles go all in this upcoming season. And I was very close with Grayson while he was in Delmarva. Sucks to see him go. Yeah, I remember I've seen the photos of being around and the impact. I know for a lot of people that followed Grayson Rodriguez for a while leaving Baltimore, that does sting because you build a relationship up with guys, right? And you hope the best for Grayson. And I actually, Zach, I messaged Grayson yesterday, and I told him the same thing of anything you need, you let me know. And above all, man, go do your thing. Go do the damn thing. And be healthy. I know I do believe in him. The biggest thing for him, though, to reach his potential is being on the field. And the goal is to figure out how you can do that because that has been a problem. But when he's been on the field, been a good player. And that's something that I'm very excited to see what this new chapter could be for him. I see now Joe, Slim Jim versus, I guess, Jack
Link's. Slim Jim.
I'll be honest, I didn't have either.
Are we talking about, I'm assuming, are we talking about like this? We're not talking Jack Link's beef jerky here, right?
No, like
slap into
a Slim?
Yeah,
Slim?
no. So that's why I was saying, because I was like, if it's beef jerky versus Slim Jims, I love beef jerky, but I'm going to go the Slim Jim over. Does Jack Link's have like a Slim Jim thing?
I don't know. Does Slim Jim have jerky?
Yes, because then I definitely would put beef jerky over a Slim Jim. Beef jerky is expensive, though.
It really has. That used to be a gas station, like, essential for me when we'd be on the long road trips. When we'd be driving from town to town that you may or may not have heard of, and you'd want to get a little snack, jerky was like a good option.
Yeah.
You know?
Now it's like you grab a medium-sized bag, and it's like, here's $9, $10. It's like crazy.
Hey, there's another gas station. I think Joe's just on the gas station ones. David's or Big Seeds. Big Seeds was later to the game for me, so it was always David's.
Yeah, I always went David's.
Yeah, not that I like Big Seeds, but for the brand loyalty for me, David's was the beginning.
Actually, I'm thinking I might be Big's. I'm trying to picture my head.
Big's dill pickle, I would take.
Spicy dill pickle, though.
There's a spicy dill now?
Yeah, it's more dill.
Oh,
it's much more pickling. So yeah, you have to go. If you're gonna do the dill pickle, you gotta go spicy dill pickle.
A little spicy dill, spicy D for you.
Spicy dill,
You can say you like some spicy D pickle. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just a big sunflower seeds guy, just big seeds guy.
You're big spicy D guy. What?
We're just two guys talking seeds.
Just talking seeds. What's a game on the NFL slate this weekend that could be a sneaky good one, not including tonight? Would you like to go first, Zach?
Okay, so I might have a bold one.
Okay.
It's not going to be good in the fact of it's good teams. Browns Raiders is going to be really interesting. That's going to
Shador's first start,
3+ touchdown passes plus 1,200.
Oh my!
I mean, like, I've seen this Raiders defense. Are we going to have like a big coming out party for Shador? Like, if that happens, 3 touchdowns should not be. I will say I do need him to get the ball to Jerry Jeudy. Like, that's not an option. I need like 75 yards a game. I did a season-long parlay. Everything's going to hit. I need 750 yards from Jerry Jeudy, and I was banking on Flacco being the guy the whole year. Didn't think Dylan Gabriel was going to be getting, 6 games? Another sneaky one, and this is obviously sneaky. I think Eagles-Cowboys is going to be a really good game.
I think that is going to be a very good game. I don't think it's even sneaky. For once, this is not going to be overhyped. I think it's actually going to be a good game. And I hope it's a good game, especially as having a Jalen Hurts on your fantasy team. I have him and Jackson Dart.
Bucks-Rams at
But that's not sneaky. I think that should be.
I'm just now looking at good games.
Like what? Okay, how about this? A game that you might want to rip your eyes out, but it's going to be close. Bears and Steelers. I feel that's it. You want to see a game that you might hate. You might hate so much of this game, but will it be close? Then look no further than the Bears and Steelers. I really think with that one. I think the Jags and the Cardinals will be a close game. The Vikings are in trouble. But that would be it for me. I like the Eagles and Cowboys. I think that would be a good one. I think the ugliest but will be entertaining, and I want to see how it unfolds, is the Bears and Steelers. And I'll tell you what, Joe Burrow, I'm definitely more intrigued what Joe Burrow is going to look like.
I think that's the biggest question.
And we're saying Carolina, if Carolina can match with San Fran, because Carolina's a weird team. Like they either win ugly against teams or you have like what happened yesterday or last week, where I don't think the Falcons are just I feel bad for Falcons fans. You have a top 5 running back, a top 5 wide receiver. You seem to be in a lot of games. You beat the Bills pretty convincingly, and then you blow a huge lead to the Panthers. You lose games that you shouldn't lose. So for the Panthers, though, I think if they're able to go into San Fran and play well, I think that will change the narrative. I'm excited to see that. I just hope that Bryce Young doesn't turn back into the Bryce Young throwing 102 yards.
He can go both ways very fast. It can escalate. This is just strictly gambling. Something that's jumped my eye up, caught my eye. Falcons total points with Penix and Drake London out set at 19.5 versus the Saints. Can Bijan and Kirk O'Chains not get in the end zone 3 times, even just establishing the run with Algier and Bijan?
Well, last time that they tried to score points, they lost by $1 billion to the Dolphins without Drake London on the field.
Yeah, but it's the Saints have not been.
The Saints defense they gave the Bucks a problem when they played them in New Orleans. The Falcons, again, by the way, Zach put up 10 points against the Dolphins. Lost 34-10.
But the Dolphins got players. Like, this is
Hey, don't sleep on the Saints, man. They beat the Panthers. How about that? You see what I mean?
This is what we're doing.
This is what we're doing.
Beat the Panthers.
They beat the Panthers. Oh, sugar. I think have we reached our quota?
I think we reached our quota.
Before we get on out of here, I want to shout out Merrick Clubs one more time. Hey, how you doing? Merrick Clubs, they are offering, starting tomorrow, their early Black Friday savings deal from November 21st to November 30th. This is how it's going to work. You go online to merrickclubs.com, and then you can sign up for the rest of the year for $20 hairs and 25 cents. 2025. That's it. How do you spell $20.25, Zach?
MERRITT.
And when I move, you move.
Just like that.
Love
We're
that.
Trying to cancel out a show here.
Are we trying to? Is there Taco Thursday at Merrick Clubs? Is that what I'm saying?
Is there taco? Is there?
I might. You know what? Your boy might do another bar class. I might get in the pool at the indoor one in Camden. Swan dive. I don't think you can dive into the pool. I think that's frowned upon. I think I'd break the rules.
Yeah, I don't think they have a diving zone. Maybe they do. Is there a diving board? I'm trying to think.
I have to go back and look.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you through the ringer next time we're there, by the way.
I'll get on the diving board.
How about you want to get some shots up in the gym?
Yeah. I'll hit some half-court shots. I get more accurate the further I go from the basket. It's really weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all. There's a lot of things that don't make sense.
Yeah. Intramurals in college, I was pulling from in front of half court. I was probably 3 times a game.
Nice. Hey, Kevin, we're about to end the show.
I'm done exactly.
Kevin, good to see you.
We hit our quota.
We hit our quota, and we're like, hey, we're about to end the show.
What happened to this show going like 2.5 hours every day?
It's hard when we're doing it Monday through Friday live.
Well, yeah, but no, you get like the 45 to an hour on the Tuesday, Wednesdays, but then the main show goes for like 2 hours. I thought I had time.
Yeah, usually.
No, do I have to come on here and make content for 20 minutes?
You can only talk
when
about
we get
Al
to
Tucker to the Orioles possibly so much.
Yeah, we did talk about that for a while. It's kind of a slower day. We had Big Ben on yesterday. You know what I'm seeing in the comments? People are really going after Ben's hairdo, but they always do. He's a national treasure. They go after Kevin's hair. That's kind of patted down. You just wake up, Kev, or what's up?
No, it's just like the short hair gets weird on me, but no, I did not just wake up. Just living life. Thursdays are busy. Every day is busy.
Mhm.
And hopefully the Orioles can make some moves that aren't at 10 p.m.
No, they're gonna make them at 3.
Well,
Yeah.
we're trained for that though. That's nothing new. That's nothing new. Actually, I need to check if the mic is. It's not all right. Good, we're on the right mic this time.
There you go. Well, we can buy a little extra time here then, Kev, because Brad did have a Paul Rudd movies that he wanted me to put into the poll. Do you know who Paul Rudd is?
I know who Paul Rudd is. I have not seen any of these movies.
What?
Maybe
Never
I've seen.
any-
Maybe I've seen. Maybe I've seen
Any of
Wanderlust.
the movies? None of them.
No, I've seen none of these movies.
None of the. Oh my gosh, Kevin. I'd be okay if you didn't see Wanderlust because I'll be honest. Actually, it's the one that I haven't seen. Every other one I've watched. He's also been in other movies as well.
Yeah, he's Ant-Man.
Yes, he is. He is Ant-Man. That's
Hey, good one, Kevin.
I know what I'm talking about.
yeah, you do. But I'm going to put that poll in.
He's the guy that said, "Look at us."
Yes, that's him. That's him, Kevin. That's the guy. That's the guy.
2 for 2.
Well, I'm trying to get.
Keon Coleman is a healthy scratch again. You didn't see
Yeah.
that?
So glad I haven't been.
Was he your best bet, Zach?
No.
Over under 50 claps on the bench.
How many songs does he vibe to in pregame warm-ups to get bothered?
Amount of high fives given.
That's what we need to start betting on.
I know. I can't wait, Zach, for the Grizzlies Hornets John Morant for LaMelo trade.
I would love that.
I feel like that's inevitable.
So here
It'd be so
is
fun.
here is the poll right there that Brad put up on the 4 for him. Best Paul Rudd movie according to Brad. The 4: Wanderlust, This Is 40, Knocked Up, or Role Models. So you've not seen any of them. So role models, that's a really funny one.
No, I haven't seen it.
Kevin, we're gonna have to get you on this book movie club.
No. Well, when the 24-hour stream happens, we might have to just get the top 2 movies I need to watch and just watch them.
They are not 12 hours each. You can get more than
Well,
that.
no, I know. I mean, we're gonna do more during the stream. I'm just saying.
So I'm not sad. I'm just disappointed that you haven't
I have
seen
my exam
any
on
of
that
these.
day. Spanish exam, Spanish 1.
Oh yes, yeah.
What exam?
Zach's going back to school.
Yeah, that'll be the fun stuff.
You know, and like with Knocked Up, though, he's one of the characters for Paul Rudd in that. The one movie that's not on here is I Love You, Man. That is one of my favorite Paul Rudd movies. That's where slap at the bass, man. Kevin, you ever heard that?
No, I'm trying to look up Paul Rudd movies to see if I can say I've seen one.
Well, like you've definitely seen ones
where he's in them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe not because obviously like the Anchormans.
He was in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Kevin, this is why we should have just ended it. Oh my goodness gracious. But I Love You, Man, for me is probably of the ones, and I need to see Wanderlust, I'll admit. Of the choices that Brad's had, I hadn't seen Wanderlust. I would say Role Models for how much that Paul Rudd's in, and I think it's really funny. I would say I Love You, Man is my favorite of that Paul Rudd. If Paul Rudd's in cameo movies, actually what I started to love with Paul Rudd was Anchorman, with him being Brian Fantana. Do you know Anchorman, Kevin?
Yeah, I know that movie. I saw half of the first one and all the second one.
I don't see, like, that's the thing I don't understand. How do you not see any of the first one?
I watched half of it with my friends a long time ago, and then I watched the second half because I think I got there late. So then I watched all the second one. That's the big fight in the field and everything. And
I mean, they have two big fight scenes and one in each.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're killing
First one's when Brick has the grenade. The second one was it's like the ghost of Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, that one got way out
Well,
of
that's the one in the field, right?
Brick killed a guy.
Brick
Brick
killed
been
him.
meaning to talk to you about that. You
Need
might
to
want to
lay
lay low because you're probably wanted for murder. You know,
I just
Kevin, how
Brick walking through the thing, just screaming
with
the
a hand grenade,
not doing anything.
it's a great scene. That's a great movie.
Yes.
He's yelling about when they're all going in there about, Veronica's getting more airtime, Brian Fantana, look, I love the ladies, but they don't belong in the newsroom. And then Brick says, I don't know what we're yelling about.
Yeah.
And they're like, go with us, Ron. Like, what do you think? It's terrible, whatever. And her hair smells like cinnamon. And Brian's like, And yeah, Kevin, I'm not, you know what? Movie Club, Kevin, if you want to come on the show next time, you must have seen the full way through of Anchorman, the first one.
The full way through.
Of the first one. If you've already seen half of it, then you're only going to need 30 minutes.
Yeah.
If you've actually seen half of it. I don't believe he's seen half of it.
I mean, I don't remember any. It was so long ago. I don't remember any of it. But
and for my homework for Brad, I will watch Wanderlust. I haven't seen that one. But of the other ones, Role Models and Knocked Up would be the top two for me. That's actually where Seth Rogen got kind of going as well in Knocked Up. Kevin, you know who Seth Rogen is?
I do know who Seth Rogen is.
Yeah, I don't believe him, Zach. Kevin, any final words before we get on out of here?
No. Did you guys cover Iglesias at all?
We went down who the Orioles should sign, where me and my Louisiana, we're the same person, Ben McDonald and I. We both were on that of Robert Suarez, Kevin. Not
They're interested in guys. I mean, they have the money, and yeah, that's the deal.
That's the deal. Is it No Shave November for you? Bless you.
Thank you. No, not really. I mean, I shaved earlier in the month. I'm probably gonna shave again. So, but I've been having allergies. I don't even know what. So that's why I'm sneezing.
Why are you? What's the allergies? Is it the cats?
No, because we have the food. That we're enzymes, and I know I gave you guys a science lesson. I remember.
No, but I'm saying, are you allergic to the cats now?
I mean, I've never not been allergic to them, but
has it gotten worse? See, that's the other.
No.
But so these allergies are what then? If you are allergic to cats, but it's not
turn of the season, I don't know. Fall to winter.
Yeah, I guess fall to winter now.
Do you get allergies going to the winter? I get the spring.
I get actually fall is my biggest one because I'm mold and dust mites. So mold coming off trees, like with the leaves. That's my biggest one.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't think about that one.
Did you never have them put all the needles in your arms?
Nope, did not have that.
That was a yearly occurrence for me.
Damn, I'm sorry.
Yearly. I did that one time, and they were like dust mites and mold, and I was like, got it.
Yeah, well, mine was the severe peanut, and so
okay, yeah.
They wanted to see if it was like getting any better over the next couple of years, or if it was just going to stay the same. And then cats and mangoes popped up. So,
Cats and mangoes
Cats
could not have. Could not be any different.
Not have had me guess cats and mangoes came next.
All right, hey, all right. How about this? You get a minute to make your case right here, Rick, because we were asking questions to finish this up. Who's the starting pitcher everyone wants? Kevin, minute, go.
Kevin, 55 seconds.
Okay. I would probably go with, if the contract is right, I wouldn't be mad with Dylan Cease. If it's not an overpay, I'd be okay with Dylan Cease, which I don't think is like that hot of a take. But I just think the worry with Cease for a lot of people is that it's just going to be like some massive overpay, and you're going to give them like 7 or 8 years, and they give him all this money. I don't think he's going to get that personally, but I think that that's what I've seen on social media, at least, of people being like, "Oh, they're going to give him so much money and so many years." If it's in like the 4 to 5 year range, decent money, I'd be fine with Cease coming to town. And then like Cease in a trade for a guy that's maybe a little worse than Cease, but still is a decent guy. I would say Nick Pivetta, but that ship sailed. So
it has sailed. So Dylan Cease, hey, Big Ben actually talked about him.
Yeah,
Dylan Cease. So you and Big Ben are now the same person, Kevin.
I hunt alligators too. So
and you're both allergic to cats and mangoes.
Yeah, fun fact.
I am.
Really? Zach, you starting pitcher you would want?
I'm gonna go a little different than anyone's been saying. I've been on this Michael King train for I think 2 years now. But coming off one of his worst years, especially worst years recently, and it's a 3.44 ERA over 15 appearances. He is just one of those guys where I think he's really putting it together. I think he is a big, I don't want to say underrated player, but he's not necessarily a guy that sticks out to you as a frontline guy. I don't know what his contract is going to look like. Just kidding. I actually can look up what he's projected around 22.9 million AAV, fourth most projected, right behind actually about 4 million less than what Dylan Cease is supposed to get. I just think he is one of those guys, Zach Gallen as well, where you kind of buy it off of a down year, only 30 years old. I just think Michael King on like a 3-4 year deal would be really nice to solidify this rotation. Nothing too flashy, maybe not the biggest name, but I think a guy that is very underrated. And if you add him to this list or to this rotation, I think it really shapes out nicely.
It does. And you're talking about, I think I've already mentioned him before with Ranger Suarez at dependability, but if we're going to say a guy I'd want to take a risk on, I would probably say Zach Gallen. Of the guys, of what I've seen the last few years, that would be the person I'd like to see them take a risk on. The other obvious, and I see Brad's commenting here about make a splash, get Valdez. Framber, if you get Framber, that's the best one on the market for this period. But Zach, if we're talking about a bounce back, I'm going to trust the guy or give him a chance to prove it, where since 2022, ERA of 2.54, 3.4. Actually, we want to go even further. 2020 is his first kind of real year. The other years he didn't pitch a ton, but overall for the body of his career, if we want to go back to 2019, he's only had an ERA north of 3.65 twice in his entire career. And that was last year in 2021.
By the dip.
And of the 7 years for him, every other year besides the 2021 and the 2025 year, those were really good numbers. He had a lot of years specifically then that were in the twos. So I like that. That's consistent. And if his floor is going to be a 3.5 or 3.8, I would be happy with that. But I'm buying that we might see the Zach Gallen that just 2 years ago was at a 3.65, or maybe we'll see the guy that back in 2022 threw a 2.54 ERA in 31 starts. That's the guy I think is still in there, and I believe that he can help this Orioles team win.
You worried at all about locker room drama with Zach Gallen? All of a sudden you bring him to Baltimore. He also goes by the Milkman. You can't.
Well, I'd rather have that locker room drama than.
Do we have? If you go by the Milkmen, does one of them maybe a Lego build off to decide? Oh. I just, I'm covering all bases here. You got to think about this stuff.
I wanted Shota was my number one guy, and then obviously
I don't know why I thought you were going to say Shohei, and I was like, Kevin.
No, I mean, well,
I would love it.
If you're offering, I mean, I'm fine. I'll take it. But Shota was my number one. He was my Pivetta of this offseason. And then unfortunately
got a raise.
Yeah. Kevin being bold, Shohei Ohtani. That's
I feel like Rocco right now. First pick, who you taking? Who's your sleeper?
Who's your sleeper this year? Well,
Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
Having a hell of a season, by the way.
And then and then the best was we're like, not the projected first overall pick. He's like, oh, okay. CeeDee Lamb. I was like, okay, that's the third projected overall pick. I was like, this is not really we're not having any hot takes at the moment.
Yeah, very bold.
Ride or die, Christian McCaffrey.
Rick wants Valdez as well. That's who he is wanted. Rick, appreciate you, man. Well, guys, we appreciate all of you. And also for our channel members, I do owe a little Rip After Dark, which I did have the other day. Maybe I'll have one. I'm gonna be me and Ollie tonight. We're gonna be hanging a little boys' night. Me and the boys.
Perfect opportunity.
And then I'll be trying to get a lot of work done, which I do each night. And then guess what? Someone's gonna make a move, not in the Orioles, and I'm gonna be like, well, great. Do I really have to go and work on this? I might. Or I'll let you guys go on Kevin and Zach React and do that damn thing. So, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you. Now, Kevin, any final words before
What do I want to say? I don't think so.
Zach?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Zach?
Stay away from the mangoes, Kevin.
So no mangoes when
Thanks.
we come in.
You know, my dad's allergic to kiwi and I got mangoes. So we both have fruits on the docket that we're not allowed to eat. Also, lentils for me can be an issue.
I'm sorry.
You know, like those snow pea snacks?
But like, what do you mean they
Yes.
can be a issue?
Is it talking about like
Like the crisp snow peas and like chickpeas.
Yeah.
Hummus.
Mm-hmm. Still remember that time where Kevin almost died. Where
That's my
with
favorite
the
story of all
airport,
The airport story? Oh yeah, that's a classic.
You have the ability to help yourself, and you get in the car. I
didn't want to ruin anybody's day except my own.
I'm telling you right now, Kevin, if something would have happened, you would have ruined a lot more days with everyone surrounding you than if you would have just.
I didn't want to be a burden, but if
I didn't want to be a burden.
If I die later, it'll be better. Yeah.
I mean, people could have gone about their day a little easier until.
Unbelievable. Well, we have Book Movie Club that we need to get going here. So, Kevin, next time you need to at least watch the first, because Brad's saying for Zach and Kevin to watch Role Models. I need to watch Wanderlust. But, Kevin, if you can't watch a full movie, 30 minutes of Anchorman, if you've claimed you've seen half of it.
30 minutes. All right. Okay.
That's a lie. He has never seen the movie, Zach. So, on that note, cue the music. As always here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking rest of your Thursday, and come back and join us live at 5 from Liv's Tavern in Federal Hill tomorrow evening. See you guys.